It's a QB! Around the same time every year there is this small, I think the name is festival, where a lot of people come to England to either drink a lot of beer or go see tanks. Or drink a lot of beer and go see tanks. Tankfest is here. Well, not yet. By the time you're watching this, if released on the exact time I set it, on Thursday around 12 Amsterdam time, or Berlin time, or Paris time, or even South Africa time, Johannesburg I do believe, I will not be at Tankfest yet. Instead, my view would more be something along the lines of this.
Departure time 1300 hours. Boarding please.
Waiting at the airport for my flight to London. That was actually all footage. There was some footage in the intro just now from last year that I just didn't use, because it just didn't make the cut, you know. It's that editor live. Also here I'm on Himmelsdorf playing my British tank to keep up with tradition of the last flu years. Yeah, 2 years ago I played a Churchill game and I think that was it, and an FV205B game. I remember, it's always British tanks. Last year I did a Churchill game played by Reese, and then a Leopard game. The Leopard because Leopards drive around Tankfest each year. And now this year it's going to be British tanks again. The Centurion Action 10 and then a second British tank in the second game. But here we are in Himmelsdorf, full tier 10, about 6 tank destroyers on the enemy team, because for some reason, also that modeling though, tank destroyers have become really popular in World of Tanks. Like, really popular. And this Tankfest, just like every other Tankfest, I will be staying with the M4, the Quickie Baby, and of course the ever so lovely Peppity. But this year, I want to do a vlog, but I just don't know really what to do. Now, I will record while at Tankfest and stuff like that, but I will decide if I will turn it into a vlog when I come home. I have no ideas yet about like music, footage, or anything of the rather. So that is up in the air if I'm going to do a vlog or not. I'm thinking yes, but yet to be decided. Because like every Tankfest, I go to Tankfest with no expectations. As in, yeah, I'll get to see tanks. Like this year there will be an IS-3. Like, holy shit, an IS-3, bro. But the last 2 years, M4 and I have gotten access to the press sites, like on top of the hill where the tanks drive by really close and there's no music. Now, every year there is no guarantee that will happen. Like 2 years ago we got that because I asked a Wargaming employee and he gave me, like, he kind of knew me and he gave me a press pass. Last year it was a bit more difficult to get one. So this year, seeing as M4 and I are still not community contributors, or like will never be, like I don't really mind, we still are kind of nobodies to Wargaming. So it will be unknown if like we will be getting access to the press sites to get some good footage of the tanks that drive by, at least. Now, I'm not trying to say like I deserve a press pass. Like, holy shit, I really don't every year. This is a surprise if it does. Like the very first year we didn't get access to there and we still had a great time. And that was also like the year I obviously didn't vlog. That was a fun year. That was the first year with Ike. So of course we didn't get access to the press area, and it was still fun. So I'm not trying to sound high and mighty like, oh, I deserve a press pass because I made videos for the last 2 years. Like, holy shit, I don't. Like, if I don't get one, I still have a great time at Tankfest. But that's what I mean. I don't go with expectations that I think like I deserve a press pass. My voice is leaving me. I still get to see the same tanks drive around the arena like everyone else. I still have access to the VCC like everyone else. I still see the inside of the tank museum like everyone else. I have access to the parking area for the tanks to drive around when it's open like everyone else. The only difference is that I am not in a crowd of people. Instead, I'll be on a hill with other community contributors also recording. So that's literally the only difference. Also, I had to drive in to get the reset off, and there's still tanks on the hill. Like, why are they still on the hill? That was a terribly aimed shot. But if the STB-1 and the WZ-130, 113 came back, then we would have had a good chance of winning this game. Or at least help the FV2 and FV1A3. Instead, they're kind of just doing nothing. So yeah, by the time you're watching this on day of release, I am either at the airport, Schiphol, Amsterdam. Schiphol, Amsterdam. I am either in a plane, I'm at London Heathrow, I'm on the M25, the M3 motorway, or whatever motorway we have to drive on to get to Bovington. And if you're watching this in the evening of the day of release, the Thursday, I might already be with Tanya and QB. So who knows? Unless you're watching this on Sunday, then I will be at Tankfest. In that case, my view would be more kind of like this.
Yeah, wait, what, 50 odd? 54.
Or this. But most likely this. Hopefully. So let's go a tiny bit smaller, because the world of tanks and Tankfest is not just about giant massive tanks like the Chieftain and the Conqueror and the Leopards, but no, there's also small tanks! And they also drive around the arena. Small tanks drive around the arena, like the Valentine and the Panzer III if it hopefully works. And smaller tanks, much smaller tanks. I wonder if they will bring out the Mark IV replica and the A7 replica this year. I might. I mean, I'm not quite sure. Let's go to the Tankfest page. Haha, 100 years of tank-on-tank battles are centenary commemorations. Continue with this unique collection of First World War tanks. The Mark IV replica, the A7V replica, and the FT-17. Tier 1 tanks are getting love at Tankfest. But they're not getting love from me in World of Tanks, because I don't know why this was a good idea to play a Tier 2 tank in Tankfest in a 12v12 battle, because no one plays low tiers anymore nowadays. Yeah, there's no one on the hills, so unbeknownst to me, there'll be someone sneaking up on them their hills, and I will be severely qualitied to death.
He's gonna go up. It's one. It's two.
Ah, I heard that word. Anyway, if you're not interested in not footage, then you can leave. But I thought it would be interesting for me to show how I made the intro of the IS-3 marking mission video. So, if you're not interested in this, then the video's over. The game's over, the video's over. You can leave now. It's bye-bye. If you are interested in this, the 17 people that are probably not even interested in this as well, you can stay. Well, with the intro, what I do is that I don't have the thunder added into the intro itself, so I can add any sound I want. If I want more of a low rumbling explosion, I can add that instead of the thunder. Then what I do is remove the part where it turns black, because then I can use that part of the music to have more of a smooth transition. And the part where it turns black is when the music kind of just ends, the rough part of it, so to say, ends. Now this is the part where I try to figure out, okay, what is the first part of the actual footage that I can use? Because it is kind of cut up in two pieces. You have the scenery footage showing, in this case, Paris, and then the tank itself, in this case, the IS-3. So I'm literally scrolling through it to find what might actually fit. But at the same time, I also have to find the music. And the music is, unlike Pluto, everything black in this case. I added that. Well, I used it for the video itself. I was listening to it, so I thought, might as well use it for the intro as well. That's been my philosophy for a couple of videos so far. Now, if you know kind of what I do with intros, is that you have to build up for the music, and then the actual, where the beat comes in, the bass comes in, everything, literally in this case, everything black. So, the music is cut up in two pieces as well. The build up is used for the scenery, then maybe if there's an in-between bit, this is where the percentage goes, and then at the end, after the percentage, like that's when the music, usually the chorus comes in. Now, it took me 15 minutes to properly edit this intro. Only 15 minutes. Like, it used to take me like an hour or something, but this is just editing. This is not recording footage or anything like that. So all in all, this will have taken me about 45 minutes in total. From having nothing to having a working intro with scenery and music and stuff like that. Now, I just finished the scenery part, and I don't really look at the music. I just have a feel for the music. Every time I feel that this is the beat, then that is where the cut goes. I just edit like that. I'm not super accurate because I don't give a shit. So the cinematics for the scenery is done. Now this is where the percentage comes in. So I have a look at the mod and I see that I'm 93.32%. So we make the text for on the screen 93.32, and then I add, and then I realize that's not what I write. I always write we start on or we start at 93.34%. And this is literally it. Like, I make it bigger, center it on the screen, add the stars in the background when I finish placing it where it has to be. And that's it. Like, that is all. That's where the stars come in. Make sure that actually doesn't remove the music part, because I still need that. Make it smaller, plonk it in, have a quick look to see if everything still fits. The streets of Paris, the Foch statue, an overview of the square. There it is. There's the percentage. And that's it. That's literally half of it already done. Oh, sorry. Germany just got kicked out of the World Cup. Anyway, that is the percent done. We need to make it all fit a bit better, and that's it. Then we have the next part of the video where the IS3 actually comes into view. Okay, the music is done. Now let's have a look over the footage that we have. Where does it start? There, this is where it starts. So obviously, if we let the camera do the zooming, this is going to be the first part of the IS3. Now, there's one thing that I always keep doing throughout editing is have a look over footage. Keep on looking at the footage that I have edited. Does it look good? If I see something that needs editing, I'd rather do it at that point straight away. Because then, if I edit something later on, I need to move all the bits into place when I've done editing it. So, if I find an error, I want to find it now. Constantly now. So I look over the footage a few times. This is how I get sick of my own videos, because when I edit something like this, I have to watch it about 1 billion times, so I get sick and tired of it. Anyway, we finally continued now with the actual IS3 footage, and like I just listened to where the music starts its new beat. It's not new beat to new rhythm, it's when the next portion of it starts. So that's where the cut happens. So that's the first cut. 3, 2, 1. There it is, the first cut, the second cut, and there it is, the third cut. So now, of course, 4. If I don't know, I just grew up listening to a lot of music, so I can kind of listen to where the cut should be. And then we just kind of look through the footage, and I'm like, wow, I have a lot of footage on this tank. Like, why? I'm not even going to use any of this. Like, you were never going to see that. Anyway, the last part of editing that it's gonna need is this part where the IS3 drives through the bush. And when I say last part of editing, the last cut in the video, because I need to play with the colors around a bit, add another few things, bits and pieces here and there. And there is the good shit with the IS3 driving out. But I thought, you know, I wanted to come out a bit more, so I'm going to have to actually speed up the footage. I'm not sure if that was even noticeable in watching this intro. I don't really know if you care, but yeah. While editing this, a big, huge spider walked over my wall, so I had to grab it and throw it out the window. So, now that we're back editing, this is the last part. This is where the IS3 comes driving out of the bush. This is where the chorus kind of ends, and this is where we can finally slam in the actual IS3 footage. Make sure that there is some sort of, you know, closing down of the music. We don't want it to go and then just suddenly ends. So here is the IS3 footage. Find a place where it actually starts driving. This looks like a good place. Like, holy shit, I don't even really give a shit. Like, that seems good enough. Make the transition happen. And that's it. That is pretty much the intro done. Of course, I'm going to have a look at it again. And again and again and again. Make sure that the volume of the actual World of Tanks footage is low, that I can commentate over it. And then we're going to have a look at the intro. And again, I'm looking at the intro, to see if I can find any errors in there. It's something that I'm not happy with. This is the moment where I have to edit it, take it out, and change things. So I find that this works. So now I'm gonna play with the colors a little bit. Color correction, contrast, all that good stuff, because you will notice after playing with the contrast and brightness is that the original footage looks kind of grey, a bit faded. See the difference? So I play with the colors a little bit, make it pop out a bit more, make it look a tiny bit better. And again, the difference is that it is just a tiny bit better looking. And I don't do that with the actual gameplay footage, because I don't know, that just kind of feels useless to me. Make the game look like something it actually isn't. I mean, this is what cinematics are for. Make them look better, make them look extravagant, make them look pretty, instead of the actual footage, which is literally just there to show the gameplay. And again, look at the intro again to see if I can find any errors or not. Because maybe sometimes the colors don't really look well, because I only make the color correction on a single frame. I look at a single frame of the whole footage, so maybe if later on in the footage it doesn't look good, then I will change it accordingly. And the last thing to add, I feel, is the buts. Add the buts to hide the percent needed, or percent that I'm going to get for the marking mission, because I want to have that as a sort of element of surprise. That's why the buts are there. It's so you don't see beforehand if I'm going to get the mark or not. That's literally the only reason. So one bot to show the percent that I will get after the battle, or what the amount of damage that I've done. Even though it is blue, I still added it for this video. And then a second bot to hide the amount of damage I've done, and if that turns a certain, no wait, that is the amount of damage I have to do, or something like that. Two bots for the bot god. It's just like things that I add because I'm weird like that. Anyway, I am at Tankfest. I'll be back next week. Bye bye.